Robinson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4, 1 absent. Time 7:04. Okay, action determined in closed session. There was no action in closed session. For procedural issues, a recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as a matter of public record. Pledge of Allegiance led by Robert. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. President Sanchez, present. Myself, present. Dr. Carl Robinson, present. Jim Bender, absent. Mario Gutierrez, present. And student member, absent. Got a motion to approve agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
One second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4, 1 absent. All right. Now time for the Board of Trustees organizational meeting. Portion A, recognition of trustees, Yolanda Sanchez and Dr. Carol Robinson.
At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Carol Robinson to come forward. Dr. Robinson, on behalf of Southern Kern Unified School District, I want to read you this plaque of appreciation. With deep appreciation for your 2 years of distinguished service and quality leadership as a member of the Board of Trustees, Southern Kern Unified School District from 2018 to 2020. We say thank you so much for deciding to be a service member to this community. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much.
This is on behalf of the district.
It was an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to ask President Yolanda Sanchez to come up. President Sanchez, it's my honor and pleasure to present you with this plaque from Southern Kern Unified School District and your fellow members of the Board of Trustees. Yolanda Sanchez, with deep appreciation for your 4 years of distinguished service and quality leadership as a member of the Board of Trustees, Southern Kern Unified School District from 2016 to 2020. We thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right, next up, 5B will administer the oath to newly elected trustees. First up, Mr. Vincelette. Mrs. Gaines will administer you the oath.
Good evening, Mr. Vincelette, and welcome. When I,
Good evening, Barbara. Thank you.
you're very welcome. When I say
Pleasure.
I, please respond with your name and then repeat after me,
I will.
okay? Please raise your right hand. Oh, you got it right there. Fantastic. I,
Hey, you got a super assistant.
I'm
I'm
very
ready.
excited.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. I
Robert Vince Clapp,
do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
that I will
that I will
support
support
and defend the Constitution
United States,
and the Constitution of the State of California
California,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear
true faith and allegiance to the
allegiance
Constitution
to the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Yay!
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. Now, I'm ready for my buddy.
All right, next up will be Mr. Moore.
You both at the same time.
Yeah, we do them both. Right?
Both of you? Sure. Okay. When I say I, just repeat your name, okay? And repeat after me, okay? I
I,
Dwayne L. Moore Jr.
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties of which I'm about to enter.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Yolanda, what is it? Oh, thank you. All right.
Thank you. Okay.
Put them here for him, and then we're gonna take officers.
Mr. Bensalem wants to make a comment?
Yes, I want to make a comment. We'll let going, Dwayne,
Dwayne?
Yes.
my comment is for you, sir. I applaud you. I ask everybody to stay, give you a standing ovation. Being the youngest member of this board, I'm looking forward to it, and I know the rest of the board will be looking forward to working with you. I'm sorry I can't be there to celebrate with everybody, but I tell you what, we're gonna have a hell of a celebration when the time comes. Mario, is Mario there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, yes, he is.
Mario, I'm ready to serve with you again.
All right.
Let's get it done.
All
Thanks,
right.
Bob.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Bob.
Thanks, Mr. Bensalem. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect now.
You may, sir. I'm gonna see if I can join on YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, next up is the election of board officers, Mrs. Gaines.
Yes, at this time, Board of Trustees, I would like to ask for a nomination for the position of President of the Southern Kern Unified School District Board of Trustees.
I would like to nominate Mr. Tansley for the presidency.
Okay, Mr. Tanksley. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Dwayne. I have a motion and a second to nominate Mr. Larry Tanksley as president of the Board of Trustees. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, Mr. Tanksley, you are now the board president. And you can move on from there.
All right. Next up. I'll sit right here, because I'm by the mic. Can we get a nomination for the office of vice president? I'd like to nominate Mr. Gutierrez for the office of vice president.
I second.
Second by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Gutierrez.
Okay, for the clerk, Dwayne, I just don't want to toss you into the deep end.
Okay.
I would like to nominate Jim Bender. He's been here for a couple of years, even though he's not here tonight, but he knows where we're at. So if that would be all right with everyone, I'll nominate Jim Bender.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Moore second. And Bender for clerk. All those in favor?
Even though he doesn't know what he's getting into, but no, I'm joking.
All right. Next up, ask for a nomination for the office for a representative to the county.
I used to do that years ago. I have not done that. The last 2 years, I've been really busy with the business. If somebody else could take it, that'd be great. If nobody wants it. What that entails, Dwayne, is we go to, there's a meeting in Bakersfield twice a year or once a year. And
Twice,
we
right?
represent our district on health or whatever issues are going on.
Okay.
So,
And there
if
will
you
be an
would like to do
alternate.
that,
I think I can do that.
when it comes around, I'll try to be available to go with.
Okay.
So I will nominate Dwayne for that position.
Okay. Nominated by Mario, second by Tanksley. Mr. Moore for county representative. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Two absent. Okay, and we have to have an alternate as well.
I will take the alternate.
Okay. Make a motion for Mr. Gutierrez,
I second.
seconded by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two absent. And then the last one will be for Antelope Valley School Board Association representative. Is that just a representative? That's no voting or anything, right? It's just a rep?
Just a rep from this district, it is an
Okay.
important position as they expect that rep to attend.
Oh, right.
Do you have to make a vote on that?
Yes.
Okay. I go to most of them, so, and Barbara doesn't, she's not. Okay, I will nominate myself for that position.
All right. Well, I'll nominate you, Tank. Tanksley nominates Gutierrez,
More seconds.
second by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Two absent. All right, next up, item E, to approve the 2021 board meeting calendar dates at 12-month or an 18-month cycle, virtual and/or locations to be determined, subject to additional meeting or changes as we go throughout the year. Mrs. Gaines?
Yes, thank you, President Tanksley. This is basically giving the Board of Trustees two options to either approve a 12-month calendar that Ms. Sally has provided for you, or extending an 18-month calendar for our board meetings. So those are your two options.
When I look them over, there really isn't that much difference if we do just 12 months or 18 months. I say, let's go ahead and approve an 18-month calendar. And we can always visit any change in dates when necessary.
You got any comments, Mr. Moore?
I do not, I think the 18 months is a good idea.
All right, I do concur as well, so we'll make the selection of a January 1, 2021 through a June 30th, 2021, 18 months, or that should be 2022, 2022. 18 months, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
3, 2 absent. All right. Next up is the 2021 board. Next up is the 2021 board subcommittee volunteer assignments. I know with 2 people missing, we'll just assign them in where we think they're interested, or lie,
Well,
or you want to table it? We can't.
For the
It's
assignments?
an organization, yeah.
we can just,
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to get the, I'm on planning, so are you,
Yes,
so we can fix that one.
okay. So for number 5, projects and planning, that'll be Tanksley and Gutierrez. I know for a fact, Mr. Vincelet's gonna want to be on budget.
I was on budget, correct? Sally?
Yes, you were.
So I'll stay there,
What were you under?
budget.
Budget, okay. All right, Mr. Moore, you'll be on board policies with me?
I definitely will.
Okay, Mr. Moore and Tanksley for board policies. Athletics, Vincelet and Bender.
Okay,
Good with that?
yeah, I'm good with that.
Curriculum,
That's not my strong suit, so.
I'll take one of those.
okay, Moore will be on curriculum with myself. I'll stick with Mr. Moore. Discipline review,
Me,
Mario
I think, Jim, was
and
Jim on there?
Bender. Let's see, what's that, 222 calendar? Mario, you're already on. 1, 2, 3, calendar, Vincelet. And Bender's already on, Bender. And then info technology, more intensely again. Good with it, IT,
Yes, sir.
all right? Go.
Mr. President, who did we place on calendar?
Calendar, Vincelet, and Bender.
Okay.
And that gives everybody, Mario had 1, 2, 3. Gives everybody pretty spread out, pretty even. Good there? All right, next up, reports and communications. First one, student board member, if you're listening, we would like a report. I know there are things going on at the high school. They did have a sale, they did have drama event, they did have some other things going on, so it'd be nice to get something from you if you can attend that we can read of what's going on at the high school.
At least an email.
Yeah, email to Miss Sally and we could just read it for you. Any report from RTA?
No reports.
No report from RTA. CSEA report? None? Okay. CBO report, Mr. Irving.
Yeah, well, thank you, guys, for approving me last week. It's been a busy week, getting reacclimated to the district and everything. Our office is running smoothly for now. We're getting ready for end of year, W-2s, 1099s, all that. And that's been about it. I'm just trying to get caught up to speed on what's happened in the last 14 months or so since I left.
All right. Thank you. Next up, Associate Superintendent, Mrs. Hargis.
Good evening. Congratulations to Dwayne and Mr. Vincelet, and Mr. Kingsley is remaining on the board. Thank you to Ms. Sanchez and Dr. Robinson. They did a great job while they were here. It's been a busy week. Looking forward to some time off. Hopefully everybody is also looking forward to some time off with their family and, be able to rest and be revitalized when I come back in January. So with that, just happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
All right, next up, superintendent report.
Thank you, President Tanksley. I would like to welcome everyone who's joining us this evening. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Carol Robinson and Yolanda Sanchez for their service on this board. It has been a real pleasure working with them this past year and a half. I had the pleasure of working with them on board policies, and you have to read a lot, and they did such an outstanding job. I wish them very well and in their future endeavors, and they will be missed. I also want to welcome Mr. Bensalet. I think we would all agree he's very excited to join the board. I haven't seen that level of enthusiasm in a while, and I also want to welcome my wonderful Dwayne over here. Who would have thought just that quickly you moved from a high school ASB representative to an elected official. Dwayne, we're very, very proud of you being the youngest board member in the state of California. Quite an accomplishment, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to say that I want to thank my associate Soup, Ms. Hargis. She's been really, really just jumping in and helping. We have a lot going on right now. One of the things that we've been talking about is forming a committee in the near future. We don't know exactly when yet, to tackle the issue of grades and grading in Southern Kern. So we want to get a committee of teachers and administrators together so that we all understand the issues of grading is not how we grade, but why we give students grades. And so we had the pleasure of talking via Zoom with Mr. Ken O'Connor, who is renowned for his work in the United States on grading. And he's really, really looking forward to working with us in Southern Kern for a couple of years, perhaps a year or two, to really create a grading policy that we can one day bring to the Board of Trustees for approval. So that's one of the things we have going. Yesterday, a team from West Park, we started the NGSS, Next Generation Science Standard work with the, we are the district representing Kern County. And so there's a team from West Park who have agreed to address a problem of practice. And yesterday was their first meeting with the whole cohort representing Kern County, San Luis Obispo, Ventura, and also Santa Barbara. So we're honored to have been the selected district to work in that group. We also had our first continuous improvement meeting today with Mr. Chip Wilson from Kern County, and we have teams representing all 6 schools working on our continuous improvement. Again, coming to a realization of what is our problem and what are the barriers and how do we address that problem impacting student learning. So a lot going on right now before we go on vacation. And I just want to thank all my classified, my teachers, my leadership team for hanging in there and doing such great work. And I want to wish everyone in our community, our parents and family members, a very safe and joyous holiday. I know there's a lot of illness out there, and I just advise everybody to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Gaines. Next up is board member communications. Mr. Moore.
First of all, I want to say thank you to all those who have supported me to get where I am today. As you can tell, I must have really loved being a student board member because here I am. First of all, I want to say I went to preschool across the tracks, and I've been in this school district since kindergarten. I graduated from here. This is a very wonderful district, and I'm glad to be a part of it and be on the board and serve our teachers and students. I want to say thank you to all the teachers and our classified staff and administrators for all you have done for this district, and have a happy holidays, and just know, students and teachers, I got your back.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Next up, Mr. Gutierrez.
First, I want to congratulate Dwayne for getting on the board, and Bob Insolette. And I want to thank Yolanda and Carol Robinson for being on the board and helping out and doing a great job while they were here. We never had crosswords in our board meeting like I've seen others, which is great. Our district always likes to work together. Last week I wasn't able to be here, but I did watch it all on YouTube. That was awesome. I got to make sure that I use the mic because I couldn't hear people on this side. With that, I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas, be safe, and we will be getting back here right after the first of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. For me, I'll go ahead and welcome Mr. Vincelette and Mr. Moore to the board. Look forward to working with both of you. Thanks for service for Mrs. Robinson and Mrs. Sanchez. They went through some very tough times, meat grinders, so to speak, and they performed very well and came out the other side. Welcome, Mr. Robert Irving. Welcome to the show, and keep us on track, my man. And as a board, now that we're coming together, we'll meld with the superintendent, and we will figure out our way forward, what our goals are, how we want to forge the district, where we want to take it. And I know the superintendent will get us there, okay, get us to that finish line. And I've got to give my plug that I give every meeting. Please, community, school, staff, students, please stay safe, remain vigilant. Try to stay at home for the holidays. Do practice your physical distancing, wear your mask, and remember, no large groups, because you take out a bunch of folks and put them at risk. So I'm going to give you that until this is over. That's going to be my canned statement. Next up is...
Mr. President, I have a statement from Mr. Vincelette.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Mr. Vincelette has asked me just to let the board know that he is very honored to be serving on this board and working with Larry, Mario, and Jim, and especially Dwayne. He believes, Mr. Vincelette believes you're going to be a breath of fresh air on this board, Dwayne, and he's just very excited to be working with you. And also he said working with me. So I thank him for that. And we hope to see him here in our January meeting. So thank you.
Next up, comments from the public. They're email only. Members of the public may address the board at any time within the jurisdiction of the board by submitting presentation requests to the secretary. Members of the public are strongly urged not to mention personnel by name and are reminded that they do not have immunity from legal action if personnel are named. The board may limit each speaker to 3 minutes with a total of 20 minutes per topic. Ms. Sally, do we have any board comments?
No board comments received today.
No board comments received. Next is consent items A through E. Board members, do we have any questions on A through E?
I do have a couple questions. On the proposal, is that part of A through E? Because I didn't see it up there. Yes, it is up there. Item D, I saw no monetary value attached to anything there.
For the network equipment.
It's going out to bid.
It's just for bidding?
Yes.
Okay, because, yeah, there was no monetary value anywhere in there, and I have a problem putting out stuff out there with no, that open-ended anyways. Okay, so if it's just going out to bid, I will accept it.
Okay.
Did you have any questions on this?
No, I do not.
No questions, Mr. Moore? Okay, can I have a
I
motion?
will make a motion to accept A through E.
Okay, Mr. Gutierrez, motion.
More seconds?
Moore, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up, General Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program, Mr. Irving, information.
All right, so last week, CSEA, as part of their statement to the board, Gary requested, the district look into the classified school employee summer assistance program. So I spent last week and the early part of this week doing as much research as I could beforehand so that I could give a presentation with, a little bit of information. So, all right, so the background of the program is, the gist of it is that for employees who are eligible, they can contribute up to 10% of their monthly income to this program, and the state will match up to a dollar for dollar basis. So, currently funding for the 21-22 school year is $60 million statewide. So if the amount of people that put in for it, if it comes in at less than 60 million, it would be a dollar for dollar. If it comes in at higher than that, it would then be prorated down to, 90 cents, 80 cents, depending, it all depends on how many people participate and how much money that they contribute. All right, the eligibility is, there are a few criteria. Classified employees at the time of enrollment cannot earn more than $62,400. You have to be employed for at least one full year before you can enroll. And it's designed to, or I'm gonna go back a little bit, but since classified school employees, typically they're working 10, 11 months, they might have a summer where they don't get anything. So the design is to help supplement that. So if you're an 11-month employee who moves to a 12-month position, then you move into a category where you're no longer eligible for the program. And here is a definition of what it means to be 11 months, where, especially on the payroll side, there's, 11-month employees, is that how many checks they're getting, how many just months they work, period. Numbers kind of bounce around, so the state provides a concrete example of, if you're working August to June, then that's what they consider 11 months. But if your number of work days are, like our secretaries and IT, I believe, start a little bit towards the end of July, but work into June. So while they might be on a 11-month calendar workday wise, where they might have get the full spring break off, a good chunk of winter break, in terms of working days, they're still paid over 12 months, and it's part of their regular, monthly take home every month, July through June, to get a check.
Now, are they considered a 12-month?
For the sake of this program, they would be, because they get paid at the end of July, and then they get paid at the end of June also.
12 paychecks.
Yes.
So they're considered a 12-month employee.
Yeah, at least as far as this program's concerned, and then within CSEA contract, there's other language on vacation of 12-month being a certain amount of working days versus 225 versus 215 or something like that. I don't remember that off the top of my head. And this is our timeline for the program. If we're going to participate, we need to notify classified employees before January 1st, which is also part of why I wanted to hurry up and get information out about this to you guys, because we're basically out of time with the holidays. But the employees have to, or we have to notify employees, classified employees, by January 1st. And then March 1st is the cutoff for employees to notify the district, yes, they would like to be enrolled. And by April 21st, we have to tell the state, yes, we already told our people that we would, our classified employees that were going to participate. Here's a rough estimate of who and how much. And then by June of 2021, we'll find out how many people are participating and what the state match is. And beyond that, everything will go into the end of 2022 school year of people getting their contribution back plus the match, the district putting in for reimbursement with the state. And then in fall of 2022, this the district should have whatever money that the state is reimbursing us for.
So the district fronts the money?
Yes.
And then we ask for reimbursement?
Yes. So yeah, for the,
Now, is that like a supplemental income, or is that a, kind of like a retirement account?
no. The closest answer I could find is that it'd be akin to a voluntary deduction where it kind of goes into.
To make the 11-month employee get a 12-month pay?
Correct, yes, and then what the employee contributes, then the state would match, so if I'm, assuming everything's dollar for dollar, just for the sake of round numbers, if I'm putting $50 a month in, the state will match another $50. So at the end of the year, I'm getting my $600 that I contributed over the course of the year,
Plus their 600.
plus the state's,
1,200.
less statutory deductions, because everything comes through payroll, and so Medicare and all of that stuff would have to come out because taxes and laws, and we, can't get around those.
And this money's fenced from the state, so it can't be diverted?
Correct. Yes,
Fenced for this program?
Yes, I did reach out to CDE to verify that, okay, at this point, if there's a deferral with this program being impacted, and the best they could tell me was at present time, there's nothing pending that would delay the state from their obligation to do the reimbursement, so.
Now, the money that is taken out of say I want to do my $50 a pay.
Mhm.
Does that come off my net or my gross?
That would come off your gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
So my taxes would not be impacted.
No, they would not. No, there's not a tax deferral or savings to this
Well,
program.
the reason I ask is it's depending off the net side.
Yeah.
Then you're taxed double because you get taxed on it the first time. You defer it for the future, and then when you get it, you get taxed again. So as long as it's on the gross side.
Yeah, my understanding it would be on the gross side where it'll get taxed when it's coming out as part of their overall gross pay, but when it goes back, it will not be taxed again.
Okay.
Only the state contribution will be, but not the part that the employee has already contributed.
And even if it was, the employee would have to elect to take that risk.
Yes,
So it's
the district, there's not a workaround for the district that would, then when we report our quarterly taxes, not get us into hot water.
So what exactly do you need from us? I know it's informational, if we've got to, is this something we need to vote on? Because by January 21st, there's no more meetings.
Yeah,
For the year.
the action doesn't, or the participation doesn't necessarily need board approval.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what the program was and what it contains.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
And then here's getting into our district costs. The maximum contribution of the state does not reimburse the district for the cost of benefits. So when we pay out the upfront cost of the state side, there's still employer pay taxes that will have to come out. And that part does not get reimbursed at all. That's,
As long as it comes out of the gross and not the net, it doesn't affect the district that much.
And it's only on the matching fund piece, right?
yes,
Because they're gonna pay on the.
yeah, we have,
contribution
yeah,
side.
we'll pay on there, Social Security through the end of the year anyway, as part of their normal wage, but. And then there is the upfront cost, which would be reimbursed a few months after our payment is made during the summer recess. Rough totals, I guess, having only been here for the week, I used our current payroll data to work off of. So I took our current eligible employees that met all three of our criteria of earnings, been employed with the district long enough, and work within the parameters of the months given. And then out of everybody, I took 75% and assumed, okay, at the top end, we'll have 75% contributing a full 10%. And then for the state side, just doing a 1-to-1 max to see what the estimate would be with what I'm at this point gut feeling only assuming would be at the high end of everything. So the amount the district would have to pay up front is $258,000 roughly. And that money would be reimbursed. The non-reimbursed part would be about $27,000 for the statutory benefits and all of this. So for what could be a couple $1,000s extra a month for a person, or for the year for a person, the district cost isn't super extravagant to me, at least in terms of the amount of money that would be reimbursed back to employees at a $258,000. Currently, all of our 11-month employees classified are on summer deferral already, so they're already having about 9% or so taken out of each of their end of month paychecks, so that come July, that summer deferral is released back to them. So it's a summer savings account basically without any interest accruing for them. And then per the CSEA collective bargaining agreement, classified employees that are under 12 months also have their vacation, whatever their balance at the end of the school year is paid out to them. So that's what we're currently operating under.
So we're encouraging people not to take a break and
Well,
and recharge their batteries. Okay.
yeah, there's some incentive to that, but also there's other language about when folks can actually use vacation days in their contract anyway. So, possible downsides, if, rough math is accurate, we're out at, 30,000. And again, it all depends on how many people actually participate. So, that money it's spent, we aren't getting that part back. And then there's a wait for the reimbursement from the state. So if there are other costs that we are considering, whether it's construction, large capital expenditure that might put the cash or the district in the cash poor position at the beginning of the year, at least through that period, it is something to consider. And at present time, as far as I could find out, putting this PowerPoint together, no other districts in Kern County are participating at this time. So getting a clear answer of exactly how the process would work from my district advisors at the county office. They got a rough idea, but they haven't given me a clear answer of, okay, this is how the process would work. But all of this would go into effect for next school year, so there's plenty of time to figure that part out.
So what's our lowest level new employee, lowest level pay for a year?
For a year?
About 50, 40?
They're 32.
Well, you gotta include benefits and everything.
Yeah.
So this would be about, understanding if we do
Probably
this.
about 40, 42 or so.
So if we do this would be 0.5 FTE. We're wanting to bring people on, meaning full-time equivalent employee. That would be a half person. So
by doing this, you may give up bringing somebody back. With a balance, with budgets and balances all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possible downside as well for the CSEA that's asking for that understanding. It could be a position, but, you know, do you shoot one for the good of all?
Yeah.
So,
And that's the end of my sentence.
I just gotta make a comment on that. Before, anybody does anything, like, really think about it, we just came out of a low grade in our financials part of our district, so let's just really think about that part of it.
Well, we do have to, we've got to get, we have to actually keep going on it March 1st.
No, we have till January 1 to notify employees that we are going to do it, so we really have.
Right, we
2
just
weeks.
tell them that, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Now everybody who wants to participate, because
We
every time they
can
participate,
start
they'll
looking in further then.
Right.
Okay.
What-
We'll see.
And once if we notify people by January that we are participating, then we're participating. We can't turn around and say, never mind, we changed our mind, we re-evaluated it. By that point, it'll be too late.
So we need to commit on what you.
You thinking maybe you're looking at 75%.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
thinking-
just a high-end estimate
I know, I-
based off of,
Personally, think you might get 20.
Mr. Irving, can you give me an idea, when you talk about our classified staff who participate on their own in the 9%, that they have taken out of their check, that obviously that we're not matching those funds?
Mhm.
What percent of our classified staff are doing that on a regular basis?
they're all doing it. It's the way our payroll system is set up currently, that all of them, it's part of just setting them up as an employee if they're working less than 12 months.
So as I hear you say that, then would that 9% that they are currently doing, would they be taking that out in addition to, if that's part of what we set up for them, would there be an additional amount taken out for this particular program for the matching funds? Or could that 9% be transferred into this?
That could, if they elected to do a 9% that matches what they're already doing, that could be transferred to this. We could go in and adjust the payroll system for next year for these employees, and so that they're not that, okay, we have 9 coming off already on our, just the way we've normally operated. And then another 10 on that if they elect for basically 20%. So, we can make adjustments to the payroll system to not include the current summer deferral process for them. And if they elect into that, or that would have to be probably a discussion for later with the unions to figure out.
Is that written in the contract
I
for that, so they get paid month after month?
I don't believe summer deferral is addressed in their contract at all, but I'd have to.
Well, I mean, either way, they elect, if they want to give up 20% of their check, that's on them. I mean, that, I imagine that would drive that number a little lower than the 100 or 75%.
Yeah.
Of what's going on. But if they elect it, I mean, they elect it, so, I mean, it's a free tantrum.
It's just information.
Okay.
Just what you want.
So, I mean, which way you leaning, Mr. Ward? I know you just got it handed to you, but if we're not gonna meet again this year, and you gotta make a decision.
Well,
Jan,
we can't vote on it because it's not an action item.
is it votable claim?
He said it's not really something we have to have.
It's just a LEA.
I said we allow the employees to make their decision. It's their money. And basically, the state's the one that's gonna be floating the money for it, not us.
And we're probably looking at 20K out of the district's funds.
Well,
When else said no?
we're, all we have to do is, pay the half portion more than, say, the normal that, we would pay on that, say it's $600. And then the state put in another 600. The only difference is we're paying taxes on the $600. Not on the full amount, we're gonna be paying the
Yeah,
600. no
that's,
matter
yeah,
what.
regardless that.
Right. So, as an employer, there is no downside to it, really. There isn't. I mean, they get the benefit, employees get a benefit of making a little extra money. And this is a 1-year shot, or right now it's only a 1-year shot, right?
Yeah, yeah, but my understanding is that if we elect to do it next year, come the year after, we'd be able to pull out of the program. It's not we sign up and then we're hooked onto it for time and I'm going forward.
I really don't see a downside for the district on it, other than, of course, we have to pay that money up there, which is really not that much. When you look at what, I mean, like Pantry said, my guess, we'll be paying upfront about what one employee would cost. And then we'll end up getting that money back anyways.
Mhm.
At this point, I see no downside.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Moore?
I'm just trying to collect it all in my mind right now, but
Yeah,
I don't,
it's hard to,
I see downfalls and I don't see downfalls because, we might think about that we have a low number coming into it. But can I ask a question?
Yeah,
We
go ahead.
have January 1st
Yes.
to notify the CSEA employees that we're gonna go into this program.
Yes.
So we're allowed to go into this program, spend a year in this program, and then realize we're getting ourselves in trouble or we don't like what we're doing and we can pull out. And then now how's all our CSEA employees gonna feel about this?
well,
That
they'll
we
just go
let them
back
on
to,
for a year, 2 years, and then now you're not getting that money. So,
Well, the January 1st, so we would notify by January 1st, by March 1st of 2022, CSA will let us know who wants to participate and how much they're willing to contribute. And then everything, that point going forward, come July or August, it'd be August for their first paycheck. Once the 2020, 21-22 school year starts, we'd start the deductions then, because at that point, by letting them know by January, we're already in for at least however many people want to participate.
What's our turnover rate for classified, do you know?
At present time, I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, because it could grow potentially if people stay with the district, because you gotta be, if you're under a year, you can't
Yeah.
participate, right?
Yeah.
So if our turnover rate is high, it's gonna stay the same. Hopefully, we trim the turnover rate down and we keep the people, and they're happy in the district, so that would grow it as well. As the people become eligible, staying past that year, the new hirees, so that could increase. I mean, that it may be 200 eligible next year. I don't know how many employees are out there.
Mhm.
That could grow as well, but it's still nominal.
and hey, if someone wants to give up a portion of their check, I mean, that's their decision.
Right.
And I can't stop them from doing that, so.
I think we're good.
All right, business and operations, approved resolution 2021-08, contingent tax liability. Mr. Irving for action.
Alrighty, so I didn't prepare slides for this one or the next item, but contingent tax liability. Looking at the backup documents, the county office supplied us with a list of what our contingent tax liability is. That is $1.3 million. And all this is a routine annual process where people who are appealing their property taxes, the county will impound the money that they believe is owed to us on our behalf. And if the appeal goes through, because we've allowed the county to impound the money, the state will backfill the money that may have been obligated to us. And then if we decline their offer to impound the money for us, any money that is lost, the state will not backfill. But the state will twice a year pull the money into an impound account on our behalf, and pending the end of whatever appeals process or for the property taxes, let us pass the money on through to us or not.
So we're just impounding a portion of all the taxes that would come in
Just
to
the
ensure.
just the portion that is currently being billed.
1.3.
Yeah.
You want a simplified version of that?
Huh?
Would you like a simplified version of that?
Well, I think I understood it, but.
Yeah, so if you look at this page on 42, we took in 2,665,430. They'll release to us with 1.36, and they'll hold the other in case an appeal goes through and we don't get that revenue. In other words, if my property taxes this year are $2,000, and I appeal and say, hey, my property has lost value, I want it reassessed. They assess it. If it comes out less, they'll have to refund me that money. So we'll eventually get this money back, but that money's there in case somebody has done that. That's where that money comes out of. And it has to be in an account held. Years ago, there was a lawsuit against Chevron, where Chevron sued the state because they had to pay taxes on all their oil wells that they had over in Bakersfield. And every year we had to do an impound account for that lawsuit until that lawsuit was settled 10 years ago. But for many, many years, we had to do an impound account just for that lawsuit. And that was, I think there was 500,000 that we try to take out every year and put it aside just because of that suit.
Anyways, can I get a motion on resolution 2021? Mario?
My second.
Second, Lauren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Two absent. Item B, approve resolution 2021-09 for the annual accounting to developmental fees for 19 and 20, Fund 25 Capital Facilities Fees Fund. Mr. Irving for action.
All right, on page 47 is Exhibit A of our developer fee report. So this is again an annual report that is done to notify the board and the public, okay, we collect developer fees. How much are we collecting per square foot for residential and commercial for any construction that's over 500 square feet? So there's a $3.79 per square foot for residential and 61 cents per square foot for commercial. At the beginning of beginning of fiscal year 2019, or sorry, fiscal year 20, the account had $100,142 in it and ended the year at $291,113.63. We collected a little bit over $500,000 in fees over the year. And then for the public improvement on which the fees were expended. The money went into leasing portable classrooms necessary to house our student population that exceed the capacity of our existing permanent classroom facilities. And as far as anything that, loans that came out of Fund 25, there was a $220,000 loan made to Fund 1, our general fund. And that loan was paid back August 3rd of 2020, so that's all cleared up.
I make a motion that we accept that resolution.
All right, motion by Gutierrez, second by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two absent. Item C, appointment of labor negotiators, government code, section 54957.6. Board of Trustees will consider the appointment of one more labor negotiator to represent the board in collective bargaining agreement with the California Chiefs Association and the California School Association to represent certified and certificated and classified employees respectively. The board will identify in open session any representatives designated. Presentation, Ms. Gaines, for action.
Yes, sir. At this time, I would like to ask the board to consider appointing our new CBO, Mr. Robert Irving, to be a member on our school district labor negotiating team as we move forward.
Okay, motion,
I'll make a motion that we accept that.
Mario,
More seconds?
Mr. Moore, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes and 2 absent. Next, the RES kindergarten building project. A, approved 3K building services proposal for 3 kindergarten classrooms at RES for inspector of record. This is for action. Presentation, Mrs. Gaines.
Yes, sir, and then we need to make an amendment because the 3K building services that you have in your packet was for an amount of $85,000. We received a new quote today from 3K Building Services. Basically, the inspector of record will look over our project of the 6 classrooms at Roseman Elementary School. As was explained to me, construction is usually delineated in 3 categories. One would be a huge project, like maybe the construction of an entire school, something to that level. A 2 would be a smaller type project, and a 3 would be even a rather small project. We believe that this project of the 6 classrooms falls as more of a level 2. And so in re-explaining this to 3K Building Services, the amount was decreased from $85,000 down to $45,000, with an understanding that should the hours surpass as we get further into the project, there may be an allotment for or an allowance for additional hours.
Right, like within the statement of fact in here, it states that any overtime and everything would be extra. If we have them, for some reason, we have kids on campus that have to come in on a weekend or after hours,
Right.
that would cost more.
Right.
This is the company that Raleigh was looking into and approved, correct?
Yes.
And in that case, I will make a motion that we approve.
Motion by Gutierrez, second by Tanksley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2 absent. All right, next item B is ratify change order number 1 for Earth Systems to originate agreement, number PAL 24002 dated 4/24/20 for RES pre-K expansion project. Presentation by Mrs. Gaines for action.
Yes, the initial agreement that you approved on April 24th was done prior to DSA, I guess, has now a new building code. And so to comply with DSA, which we need to do because our project is already in the hands of DSA. We needed to adjust it. We need the modification of the first soil report to meet their new requirements of the DSA.
And basically, the building code for this type of building has been changed since the original contract was signed. So now we have to go back and they're willing to come out and retest for very little to comply to the new codes.
Yes.
So I will make a motion to accept their updated proposal.
More seconds.
Motion by Gutierrez, Moore second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two absent.
Time out. Doing what we've been doing, in case you didn't know, I'm sure you don't. We're building 6 more classrooms over at RES. Actually, no, it's
6.
6.
3
6 more
buildings,
classrooms.
6
Three
rooms.
buildings.
Three what?
3
No,
buildings,
6 class.
6 classrooms.
6 classrooms. The state is actually gonna pay us to put in kindergarten buildings.
I remember that when I was a student.
Well, actually, we were going to originally build those, but we basically ran out of money and we couldn't put up that last building. Now the state's actually gonna pay us to put the buildings in. And this is so we can continue with that at their expense, not ours. So we've been in this process since like April. I mean, it's been, they wanted us to have everything signed, done, stamped, ready to go by October. We've been,
Okay, item 9, personnel items. Approve the following listed personnel items. Presenter Mrs. Gaines for action.
Yes, as you can see, we just have a couple of, we have a resignation and a hire on for your approval this evening. And that's, it's not been a whole lot of activity in the HR as far as hiring during this time.
I will make a motion that we accept as written.
Motion by Mario, Mr. Moore second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 yeas and 2 absent. And who wants it?
It's all you.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:15.
I'll
Mr.
second.
Moore motion, Mr. Gutierrez second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 and 2 absent. At